If it happens in the Middle East, this kind of atrocity, it just does not seem to attract the kind of media attention in America that it would if it happened, as we've seen in the attacks in Sweden last few days, in London 2 weeks ago. I was there for that. Huge attention in the American media. You know, in Paris, in Nice, these get huge attention. And yet what happened in Egypt was unbelievably significant. You know, if you look at what ISIS really stands for, what they are carrying out now in the Middle East and in Egypt in particular is a kind of genocidal attack on Christians and Christianity. They want Christianity eradicated, and they want to convert all Muslims to their crusade. They want it to be a holy war, and they want Christians gone.
They want Christians gone. Let's take that to American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, should these attacks, this genocide of Christians, be getting more media coverage here in the U.S.? I mean, even John Kerry said it is Christian genocide.
Well, Liz, John Kerry said it after Congress passed a resolution 393-0 last March, telling the State Department to make it a genocide, and then he did that after being pushed into it. So the politically correct police don't want to acknowledge that this is a religious war. And I'll tell you, as a Muslim, we need to address this as a religious conflict. Not that it's Christians versus the world, but rather it's Islamists versus the rest of the world, be it Yazidis, Jews, Christians, anyone who's not Muslim or agrees with their theocracy is going to be targeted. And once we identify that as a theocratic battle against all who are non-Muslim and call it what it is, then the world and Americans who listen to the media will start to get more educated about how to figure out which Muslims are with us versus which are against us. And that denial prevents, and I think Pierce is exactly right. They're denying it because they don't even want to get to step one in the solution.
You know, but the media is really going after Donald Trump, saying should not be doing extreme vetting. That's religious persecution. The president is saying do extreme vetting of ideology. What are your thoughts there? Well,
the bottom line is anyone who has the privilege to come to the United States should share our values. So if they're theocrats who believe in Islamic republics, be it Iran, the Wahhabi state of Saudi Arabia, or any theocracy, be it Muslim Brotherhood, I don't want them coming to the United States. They don't believe in our Constitution. Same thing for Russian tyrants, Chinese communist tyrants. Anyone who doesn't share our values should not be coming here. So it's not extreme vetting, it's rational vetting, and understanding that the radicals are fighting a genocide, that are creating a genocide for Christians in Egypt, in Iraq, in Syria, allows us to understand how to vet those who want to be here versus those who are coming here to destroy us.
You know, Doctor, let's shift gears. A Muslim artist for Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics is owned by Disney. He's being accused of inserting anti-Semitic, anti-Christian messages into an X-Men comic book. Now, you can see the number 212 in the background of one of these shots. There are also numbers in other shots there that you're going to see. I think that is in the Quran. It denotes a specific passage of protests by Muslims against Christians, right?
Well, this is fascinating, Liz. It's not just sort of a little footnote about a cartoon. This is in Indonesia. You had protests on February 21st in which they had recognized a governor that was Christian. So for the first time, Indonesia had a Christian governor that did the crime of citing a Quranic passage saying that that passage doesn't say that Muslims should not take Jews and Christians as leaders. And that was chapter 5, verse 51. So the protest then arose. The Islamists lit fires under the radicals in Indonesia and said, we cannot have a Christian governor tell us how to interpret our own Quran. And then they arrested him. The government arrested that poor governor for blasphemy against the Quran, etc. So what this artist did was took it upon himself as a Marvel artist not to simply draw, but start to insert subliminal opinions, putting that 51 number in there, talking about 221 being the protest. He had just returned from that protest, we believe, on February 21st. So this artist thought he could go under the radar in Western media, and then I'm sure on Islamist forums in Indonesia and elsewhere use that to say, we are defeating them. And by the way, the lead X-Men figure there is a Jewish figure. So it has multiple overlays of this cultural war that they're under.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, we love having you on. Come back soon, okay?